let's take a like a side trip into Looney Land. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you J6 political prisoners highlight the reality of our compromised nation with Joseph Pye anonymous. This is from Mike Pillow's network. This is from Frank Speech, and these dudes apparently this is the two-tiered system of justice in our country. And this guy, by the way, I wanted to point out that besides the fabulous facial hair going on in this entire project, the guy wearing the hashtag pure blood, you know what that means? It means he's not vaccinated. That's what he means. He can't wait to change his registration to Democrat so that he can vote for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in the primary. Let's hear what these guys have to say.
First they went after Americans that stood up and for redress of grievances, basically saying the Constitution doesn't exist and we can say and do what we want because we've captured.
Yeah, remember when that happened? Me neither.
Captured the judiciary, and I want to talk about what we are. We're a captured nation.
Yeah, we are. By the way, don't try to go outside. The little tag on your ankle will
We have been taken over by treasonous traitors in different positions of power. I put up a...
But that's not going to stop this guy from drinking a beverage from a convenience store, which is obviously laced with poison by the communist overlords who are trying to wipe out the pure bloods.
A couple days ago that I thought that we should Gaddafi those people. I didn't say which part of the Gaddafi part I wanted to see happen, but there was recompense to be made.
Whoa, what was that again, buddy? What we need to who? This is Mike Pillow's network. Say that again.
Which part of the Gaddafi part I wanted to see happen? Positions of power. I put up a couple days ago that I thought that we should Gaddafi those people. I didn't say which part of the Gaddafi part I wanted to see happen, but
look at that! Look at the smiles on their faces immediately. He means murder them.
There was recompense to be made for the atrocities that he committed against his own people. And frankly, you could call it whatever you want. He was good to his people to some degree, but he had a group of people that were disenfranchised. In the United States, that's a majority of Americans are being disenfranchised by this radical movement, this Marxist ideology that is meant to permeate and destroy everything we are as a nation.
Yep. Can you get a little more specific? I get it, Marxist, blah, blah, blah. And, of course, you're going to have to assassinate people, apparently, because you feel surrounded by Marxists everywhere. But can you point out, something that somehow is actually an example of said thing? Just once. Sorry, I should be able to push the play button and it goes, but it doesn't.
But we look at it and we go, our judiciary is compromised, our DOJ is compromised, our military apparatus is compromised,
oh no, they got us right in the apparatus.
Our legislative branch is compromised on both sides of the aisle. They've captured
rhinos. See, no one escapes
it by stealing our voice, and they did it over time, and we didn't see it happening. And now it's...
Well, that's because you're dumb, Joe. I mean, that's ultimately, you got to really look at it, look it square in the eye. Go, hey, maybe I'm the problem.
It's there, and we finally opened our eyes, and we were able to see the things that we're dealing with. I find it almost to that place where we have to pay attention to all the persecution, and what they do to one of us, they do to all of us. And so you see...
Yes, kind of wizzy-wagouch is what we call it.
Start talking about the January 6ers. These are not people that are in jail. The people that are in jail right now are literally beholden to people who are not Americans. These are people from Nigeria and Congo. And that's the people that are actually guarding the jails. So we have un-American.
What? First of all, what? Second of all, Nigerians and people from the Congo are guarding the jails. Fucking hell. And so, therefore, I guess the idea is that if the guards are black, they're from Africa, and therefore they don't have a right. I mean, is this just like a furtherance of Obama Kenya shit, or is this is just fucking bizarre?
Americans, people that are not Americans, that are in here abusing our people.
What? I've no. This is their clip, by the way. They posted this. This is 3 minutes and 16 seconds long, and you would think, and you know what? I would think if it was a clip of something, you would go, oh, clips are for people who aren't all in on our sales pitch. And so they might need a little refresher course or a little more detail in this rather than just post a bunch of like incendiary horse shit out of nowhere. But then I think, oh, this is Lindell TV. So no.
Yeah, and that's because of the privatization of the prison systems. So the U.S. Marshals have oversight, but they very rarely go in because unless there's complaints or sort of paper pushed to highlight what the atrocities are within those walls.
Paper pushed, by the way. You're not allowed to get sick if you're wearing the hashtag Pure Blood shirt. I'm just saying. Also, the U.S. Marshals don't. This is the D.C. County Jail. It's their. It's.
Excuse me. Then
that's okay. It's a little bit of COVID.
They allow that. They are ignorant to it, and you are correct. The Nigerians and other nationals, I should say, that are the ones that are running those prisons are creating human rights violations, civil rights violations against these men and women. I'm sure your audience is very familiar with the atrocities that the inmates of the DC CTF and Northern Neck, which is actually worse than DC, but DC is highlighted because it's in the center of what's going on. But the atrocious behavior and the conditions, extremely unsanitary, et cetera, is actually worse than.
Well, obviously they thought they could chuck their shit at the guards and Trump would get them out or something like that.
Northern Neck, Virginia. The racism is just insane. If I were to
you mean in this clip or
tell you probably wouldn't even believe it.
You're right. That's it. Bang, 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 down. Also, why would you go to flamenco guitar to end that? That's the whole thing. They ended with, if I told you about the racism, you probably wouldn't believe it. True fact stated.